Hello everybody. In this video, I'm going to go over child sexual abuse in the judicial system, laws, sentencing, rehabilitation, and recidivism. Child sexual abuse is one of the most serious crimes recognized in modern legal systems. Because children cannot legally consent and are uniquely vulnerable, societies across the world have developed strict laws, sentencing structures, and monitoring systems to address these offenses. This video examines how the judicial system handles these crimes, how age of consent laws vary, what prison terms look like, and how offenders behave while incarcerated, and what research shows about reoffending. So first up is the legal framework, how the laws defines and prosecutes child sexual abuse. Child sexual abuse is illegal in every U.S. state and under federal law. While definitions vary slightly, all jurisdictions agree on core principles. Minors cannot legally consent to sexual activity. Federal law outlines several major offenses, including aggravated sexual abuse, 18 U.S.C. 2241, sexual abuse, 18 U.S.C. 2242, sexual abuse of minor or ward, 18 U.S.C. 2243, and abusive sexual contact, 18 U.S.C. 2244. Federal jurisdiction applies when the crime occurs on federal land, the offender crosses state lines, the internet or interstate communication is used, and child sexual exploitation materials are produced or distributed. Most cases, however, are handled by state courts. Number 2, age of consent, variation across jurisdictions. Age of consent laws determine when a person can legally agree to sexual activity. In the United States, the age of consent varies by state. 16 years old in many states, 17 years old in some, and 18 years old in others. Many states also include close-in age exemptions, known as the Romeo and Juliet laws, and enhanced penalties when the offender is in a position of authority, such as a teacher, coach, clergy, etc. Globally, age of consent laws vary even more widely, but all modern legal systems criminalize sexual activity between adults and young children. Number 3, sentencing and prison terms for child sexual abuse. Sentencing depends on the age of the child, the nature of the offense, whether force or coercion was used, whether digital exploitation, such as the production of child sexual abuse material, occurred, prior criminal history, and according to the U.S. Sentencing Commission, 1,499 federal cases in fiscal year 2022 involved sexual abuse offenses. Sexual abuse offenses have increased by 40.5% since 2018. Nearly 50% of federal cases involved production of child sexual exploitation material, which carries some of the harshest penalties. Typical federal sentences include things like production of child sexual exploitation material from 15 to 30 years or more, aggravated sexual abuse, 30 years to life, sexual abuse of a minor, 10 to 20 years, abusive sexual contact, up to 10 years. State sentences vary, but often include mandatory minimums, lifetime sex offender registration, and restriction on residency, employment, and internet use. Number 4, prison life for individuals convicted of child sexual abuse. Prison cultures place child sexual offenders at the bottom of the inmate hierarchy. As a result, they often experience protective custody. Many are placed in segregated housing for safety. Mandatory treatment programs. Some states require cognitive behavioral therapy, group therapy, and polygraph monitored disclosure sessions. Religious involvement. A well-documented pattern in correctional systems is that many offenders seek out religious programs. They present themselves as spiritually transformed and attempt to demonstrate remorse and rehabilitation. This behavior is often strategic. Parole boards look for evidence of accountability, participation in structured programs, and behavioral changes. Religion can be a genuine coping mechanism for some, but for others, it becomes a performative tool to appear rehabilitated. Number 5, recidivism. Do offenders reoffend? Recidivism rates for child sexual offenders are complex. According to Stop It Now, a leading child protection organization, approximately 10 to 14% of adults convicted of child sexual offenses reoffend after release. This number may seem low, but it is influenced by underreporting, difficulty detecting abuse, survivors' reluctance to disclose, and challenges in gathering evidence. Experts caution that recidivism statistics underestimate true reoffense rates because many crimes are never reported. Risk factors for reoffending: prior offenses, access to children, lack of treatment, poor community supervision, and denial of responsibility. Some protective factors: stable housing, strong supervision, mandatory therapy, limited access to minors, community monitoring. Number 6, the role of the judicial system in prevention and monitoring. The judicial system uses multiple tools to prevent reoffending. 1, sex offender registration. Registries allow communities to know who lives nearby, understand risk levels, and monitor compliance. Registries are public safety tools, not instruments for harassment or vigilante behavior. 2, parole and probation restrictions. These may include things like GPS monitoring, internet restrictions, no contact orders, mandatory therapy, and regular check-ins. And 3, civil commitment. Some states allow indefinite confinement of high-risk offenders in treatment facilities after their prison term ends. Number 7, the importance of public awareness and responsible action. Understanding the judicial system's role helps communities recognize warning signs, report concerns promptly, support survivors, advocate for stronger protections, and the goal is not fear, but informed vigilance. Child sexual abuse is devastating crime that demands a strong, coordinated response from the judicial system. Laws, sentencing structures, and monitoring systems exist to protect children and hold offenders accountable. While some offenders attempt to manipulate the system, including through performative religious involvement, the combination of legal oversight, community awareness, and evidence-based treatment reduces risk. Recidivism statistics show that while not all offenders reoffend, The danger is real enough that society must remain vigilant. Protecting children requires education, transparency, and a justice system that prioritizes the safety and dignity of the survivors. Stay safe, everybody.